Welcome back. It's harvest time. Are you excited to eat your sprouts at last? I want to walk you through the final step in getting your sprouts ready, and that is the final wash. These little brown flecks you see are the shells, or husks, that once held the seeds. You can just eat your sprouts as they are, including the shells. It's actually just a little bit more fiber. The trick is, they've been sitting around for a few days now, and unlike the sprouts themselves, they're no longer alive, so they are going to turn a little sooner than the rest of the sprouts. So we can help the sprouts look a little nicer and last a little longer by removing the shells. To wash your sprouts, you're gonna need a couple simple tools. A salad spinner filled with cold, clean water, or alternatively, you can use a bowl and a colander. And you'll want a second bowl to collect the shells. Now that we're ready to go, it's time to get our sprouts into the water. Sometimes you can shake them out. Sometimes you need to pull them out. You may also need to give it a rinse to get some of the extra seeds out. Give them a good churning around. This is a great chance to break apart any roots that are clumping or have become matted. Now what you may notice is that we've had some layer separation. You have the shells floating on top, you have our sprouts kind of hovering in the middle, and at the bottom, the heavier items have sunk down, such as seeds that didn't sprout. And what we're going to do is separate these layers, starting with the top layer. So if you spin the water to get some movement, you can use your sprouting lid or a small sieve and start to skim the surface to collect some of the shells. And I'll just toss them into a separate dish for now. You may need to hold some of the sprouts to the side sometimes to make it easier to scoop them up. Now it's really important while doing this not to get water on your microphone, you know. Now we do not have to get all of the shells. It's just nice to get as many as possible. Don't obsess about it. It does not have to be perfect. 80-20 rule applies. So here we have our floating sprouts, which are mostly separated. Still a few shells in there that I didn't bother to get out. And what I'm gonna do now is to separate the middle layer from the bottom. If you're using a salad spinner, you can just pull out the tray and discard the water below. If you're using a bowl, you may have to lightly pull out the sprouts by hand, moving them into a colander to drain. Now that our middle layer of sprouts has been removed, what you'll see here at the bottom are the seeds that didn't sprout. These might have been dead seeds, or they might have just been slow. You can actually toss these in your garden and they might actually just continue to sprout. In this case, it's such a small number that I'm just gonna toss them in the compost with the shells. I've always found that sprouts last the longest when they are mostly dry. And there's a couple good ways to do this. Either let them dry on a towel, patting them lightly, or even better, we can spin them in a salad spinner. To store them best in the fridge for a few days, we want to, 1, avoid moisture from building up, and 2, prevent the cold air from hitting them directly. So I usually line a small sealable container with paper towel, or use a paper towel underneath the sprouting lid so that there's still the opportunity for airflow. And they'll usually last this way for a few days, up to a week. Now, one of my favorite advanced tricks is that instead of doing your cleaning on the final day, I'll actually do it one day early. And this way, you can take the sprouts after the washing, put them back in their jar, and then let them dry out and soak up that moisture over the next day. So by the end of the final day of sprouting, you'll actually have both clean and dry sprouts you can just leave out and kind of consume them while they sit out for a few more days. It's a really great hack to make sure that you have really dry sprouts that are happy and fresh. Now get out there, experiment with new sprouts, experiment with new ways to add them to your diet, experiment with new recipes, some that feature them, some that hide them. It's a really fun and rewarding journey, and you'll make some mistakes along the way, but it'll pay big dividends for your health. I've been Todd on behalf of Team Sun and Sprouts. Happy sprouting.